Compare and contrast the approaches of the two different political parties, how the GOP handles their party and how Democrats typically handle their party.
I would say it's democracy versus discipline. You have to be practical in politics. And unfortunately, politics is not always that democratic. You can, stand on your high horse and say, well, above all else, we want democracy. McLarnon didn't care about democracy. He cared about delivering what people wanted, and that's why he stayed in power. They need to exercise the same amount of discipline as far as their choice of candidates as the Republicans do, and perhaps then they'll have a shot at it. Politics is the art of the possible, and it's wonderful. If you can have people running and you have these kind of altruistic motives, and people are just they're focused on the great issues of the day. Politics is a down and dirty, day-to-day blood sport, and people should understand that. McLarnon was so good at what he did because he understood it's blood sport, and the Democrats, if they want long-term to be successful, although I wouldn't wish too much success on them, because the success the Democrats had in Philadelphia in the 1950s evolved into the Democratic machine that runs that city now. I think it's human nature that one party being in power too long and it loses its reformist, altruistic motivations. But nonetheless, you can't be too idealistic. You have to be practical. You have to be pragmatic at some point.
Won't the best person win?
No, because that's the way politics works. It's discipline. It's this term political science is the silliest term in the world. There's nothing scientific about the way people behave, and particularly how they behave in politics. People run on emotion, and people run on their wants and desires. And they're going to vote for the person they think they want to have in office because that person is going to do the best for them, not for society generally or their borough or their township. That's just the way it is. My contention is that until the Democrats can get at least one seat on the county bench, that they're really not going to be in a position to think that they've broken the back of the Republican organization in the county.